So this is the article in question, is it? A small box deposited with the pawnbroker by Mr. McGilded 2 months ago. And on the night of Mr. Winterbank's murder, the only item on the shelves that was touched by whoever broke into the shop. Quick! Let's open it and see what's inside! Good gracious, this is no ordinary box, it seems. Though in truth, I had an inkling that might be the case. It would appear that the box houses a miniature music box movement. Is it too much to expect? I think it would be reasonable to assume that this is a device for the playback of this disc, my lord. Sholmes blew a budget for nothing, eh? So, here we have the means to play back Mr. McGilder's disc, deposited at Winterbank's at much the same time. Not strictly correct, my lord. It was not McGilder's disc. It was the disc of his victim in the omnibus. Why, for heaven's sake? To understand that the brickmaker was trying to sell his music box disc to Mr. McGilded. I believe the answer will become clear if we listen to the music on the discs, my lord. Yes, very well. Let the court now listen to this curious disc at last.
Hold it!
Wait, my lord! Good grief, what is the meaning of this, Inspector? The music box and the disc are they're unrelated to the case. No need to spoil the somber atmosphere in the courtroom with some silly bit of music. The disc may very well have motivated the culprit in this case to commit murder. Clearly, there's every chance that's fundamentally important to understanding what happened. The prosecution has no objection. No! The piece of evidence is police property now! You can't! Clearly, Scotland Yard has some vested interest here, but it's policy of this prosecutor to leave no avenues unexplored. And you, Inspector, have no jurisdiction here to prevent that from happening. Ah! No further delays, please. Play the disc! What on earth? That's certainly not what I would call music. No. It's just the same note playing over and over again in an irregular sequence. Mr. Graydon! This really is priceless! After all that, the music box is broken! Broken? It can't be, can it? Obviously! In fact, I wouldn't be surprised. If the officer sent to fetch it didn't drop it on the way back to the court. Well, with much regret, I feel the court must accept that this music box offers little in the way of clues. Are you ready to move on, counsel? Come on! It's alright. It does sound as though it's completely broken, but... Is it? This music box emanating from the music box? Did I say music box twice? Sorry. It should be! Surely! I mean, we haven't been able to examine it, I don't think. No! I'd at least like to have a peruse myself. I believe that it could be relevant, my lord! Good lord! But how can it be? It's an abomination, Council! Mere noise! I fail to see how it could have any meaning whatsoever! It does sound strange, I agree. But there's one thing bothering me. While Graydon stands there chortling viciously, or victoriously, with that too, I think. The inspector beside him has a rather telling expression on his face. Yeah, well, why is he trying to hide this? It's as if Gregson recognizes the sound, as if he's familiar with it somehow. And that's making him appear extremely on edge. If that's the stance of the defense, my Nipponese friend, answer me this. Just what relevance do you propose this woeful chiming has on this case? It's the defense's belief that the sound emanating from this music box is... Oh, yeah. Okay, we're about to get penalized here, but I wonder what happens when we go for a meme. It's oh my god, what a bob! It could be an unusual genre of music that none of us are familiar with! Yeah, Graydon's driving with it! Right, Council. Would you care to elaborate on that, Mark? Well, it could be a new style of music that's about to take the world by storm, for example. I think not, Council. Honestly, these people. Such monotonous noise could be pleasing to no one's ears, surely. Well said, my lord. Here's to my learned friend seeing that remark's true meaning. Honestly, some people. Music, or whatever you want to call it, has to be relevant somehow. Which might actually be the point. See if you can grasp the question better next time around. Just what relevance do you propose? Okay then. It's the defense's belief that the sound emanating from this music box is not supposed to be music. Just because this is a music box, it doesn't necessarily mean the sounds we're hearing are music. Look at that. The smile vanished from Graydon's lips as soon as I said it. I'm on the right lines here. I must be. Making deductions based on how people react to what you say. You're acting just like Hurley, Bruno.
Objection!
The sounds we're hearing aren't necessarily music. Oh, now that you've told us what they're not. I'm sure the court would like to hear what they are. Do enlighten us, my Nipponese friend. Well, surely you have an idea in mind, because if not, it will be the death of your ill-informed argument. Exactly. music box is clearly broken. Refusing to accept that is... It's pure foolishness. Oh, they've got me. I don't know what the answer is. Yeah. No. I've just examined the music box very thoroughly. Oh, yes. And I'm fairly certain that it's not broken at all. Really? It doesn't look broken, that's for sure. Really? The way it's been made, and it can only produce a single note anyway. Thank you, Iris. Alright, well, if the music box isn't broken, it must mean that the sounds it's producing have some significance that isn't musical. Ah! Could it be? Is that what these sounds are? Something has just struck me, Bruno. I feel like recently, in the past few hours even, I've heard another sound very much like the one this music box makes. Yes, it's a familiar sound. Actually, Iris, I was just thinking exactly the same thing. I'm going to have to press the defense for an answer. If your assertion is that the sound produced by this music box is not in fact music at all, then what the devil is it, Counsel? All the evidence we've seen so far, all the testimony we've heard, it's all pointing to one single answer now. The prosecution demands that my learned Nipponese friend presents proof now! Tangible proof of this latest wild speculation. Alright then. This could be the best chance I'm going to get to fight back in this trial. And if I'm right, it's going to join all the dots together. The evidence that explains the true nature of the sounds on this music box disc is... Oh, what? The evidence that explains the true nature... Wait, it's an evidence? That wasn't what I was thinking. Oh shoot, what is it? We have it? So strange. Oh! There's a sensational story lower down the front page as well, look! Ministry Mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. A 10-year-old. Certainly has her finger on the pulse of world news. It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently they're being intercepted by hostile nations. Communications are being intercepted. But how would somebody be doing that? That's the question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Bruno?
Of course not. Just started.
I wonder.
Perhaps this is what Lord Stronghold was talking about yesterday.
Yes, it could be. It could explain why he has Gracie running from pillar to pillar post at the moment.
Yes, I know we read it before, but game crashed on me, so that's why we have to read it again. But yes, communications.
Take that!
Today's paper, Counsel. The headline is Pawnbroker perishes in Pickpurse plunder. Hardly supportive of your cause. No, my lord. I was hoping you'd look a little further down the page. Further down. Ministry Mo. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice.
This is a very serious matter being investigated at the highest level, I understand. I have heard that international transmissions along supposedly secure lines are somehow being intercepted and leaked to various other countries. Presumably, those transmissions are in the form of wired telegrams. Of course. Juror number 5, your input, please. Yeah, I thought we were going to present, like, oh, okay.
Me, sir? Whatever is the matter?
You told the court before that you worked at the same communication station as Mr. Graydon, did you not?
Yes, that's correct.
And the particular station where you work deals with government communications and newspaper reports.
Oh, yes. We're not your run-of-the-mill communication station at all. Our work is extremely important.
Then tell me, is this not a very familiar sound?
Hmm? You don't mean to say, is it?
That's right, madam. Bears more than a passing resemblance to the sound made by your telegraph machine as you tap it. I believe it's called Morse code.
But I don't believe it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from government departments, there could be nobody more perfectly placed than a highly skilled communications officer. Are you suggesting that the music box disc contains stolen government secrets in Morse code? Well, that's why Gregson's shaking. Order, please! This is high treason, counsel, deserving of capital punishment offer. Too much new vocabulary. What is this treason? And what is capital punishment? Sorts of words I half expect you to know, so half. For sovereign governments of confidential information, hostile nations would surely almost pay any price. Yes, and on the night 2 months ago, that was the very negotiation that was taking place inside the omnibus. In the end, McGilded perished, and the all-important disc lay unclaimed in the pawnbrokery. My word! In which case, whoever stole that information in the first place must surely have been beside himself with worry. Because if the disc were to be discovered before he found his way out of the country, it would reveal an high act of treason punishable by death. So the culprit had no choice but to retrieve it. And in order to do that, he would have to gain entry to the pawnbrokery illegally in the middle of the night. Because the article left behind by Mr. McGilded, which would incriminate him too much if it got into the wrong hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Graydon? You think I've been stealing government secrets? Preposterous! Absolutely preposterous! So, in response to the defense's accusation, you claim complete innocence, do you? Well, of course I do! I've had to stand here in silence while the pretentious foreign lawyer has been prattling away!
Objection!
Then by all means, counter the charges, sir! The prosecution demands the witness testifies in response to the accusations brought by the defense. Delighted, I'm sure. The witness is reminded that the crime under scrutiny in this trial is the murder of the pawnbroker Mr. Winterbank. That being a most
flagitious offense for which the law of this land sanctions a capital punishment. But the heinous act of high treason is no less a serious crime. I urge you to bear that in mind as you testify, Mr. Graydon. So then, let us proceed.
You're gonna let us have a rabbit and pork in here, Governor? We've got things to say.
I beg your pardon. Who do you think you are?
Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is professional buddy. Name's Ringo Skulkin. We ain't baddies enough to sell our motherland.
That's right. We're what they call
The Three Skulkin Brothers.
Bad timing, fellas. Very bad timing. A mere communications officer couldn't possibly steal confidential government information. Besides, the sounds produced by their music box aren't even Morse code. Some low-class brickmaker negotiated with McGilded anyway, was it not? I've no relation to the man. Look, all we done is break through the gaff the other night like what he told us to do.
We'd known there were some dodgy government secrets involved. We wouldn't have touched it.
Conflict? Mr. Skulkin. One Mr. Dude, Governor. What's up? I would take it that you now admit to the crime. Now, the night in question, you did indeed gain entry to the premises illegally. And moreover, you did so as a party of three, in collaboration with Mr. Graydon here.
We did, Gav, we did.
Quieten down, please. What say you to that, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these two ruffians are referring to.
You little whore, getting lost mixed up in all this monkey business. You never said nothing about no government secrets. It was supposed to be a straight up job. What about the geezer's shopping, was it? Poor bloke didn't have to die, did he?
Nice to know who your friends are. Whatever these men say, I deny the accusations. Indeed. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this little music box to become so significant in the proceedings. However, as it has, I will permit it into the court record as evidence. Ooh. Oh, the carnage! Give me a moment. This is the mechanism that turns the bumps on the disc into sound, isn't it?
Yes, the movement. It's all thanks to the comb with its teeth that are plucked by the passing bumps. Usually, the teeth on the comb are different lengths, so that each one produces a different note. But this comb is very strange. All the teeth are exactly the same length.
What does that mean?
It means that no matter which tooth is plucked by the passing bumps, the music box will make the same sound.
I've never seen a music box like it before. Oh! It's strange. A music box that can only play a single note.
There has to be some significance to that, surely. What's this little thingy? Oh! What is it, Bruno? I've just noticed something about this box. It looks like the bottom of it opens up as well. You're right! Come on then, what are you waiting for? Let's open it! Alright then, here goes. Look at that! There's another movement on the underside! So, does that mean there were multiple? You can set another disc to play back on this side. Yes, I think so. And it looks like the two movements are linked together. They're linked. So if you had two discs, they would both play back at the same time. Curious. Was there another disc involved? Anyway. Sure. So is this newspaper headline accurate? Government communications are being intercepted? How could I possibly know? What do you mean by that? Important government communications are handled by high-level officers, by specialists. General members of staff in the station where I work will never be entrusted with sensitive information. Oh no, stop! Must say something, stop! Let me guess. Juror number 5! The regular communication station officers aren't as lowly as you're being led to believe. A team of us are responsible for setting up and testing the telegraphs used by the ministry. And Mr. Graydon is the team leader. Fascinating. Graydon is highly skilled operator staff, currently in presence of idle staff. Do you have access to the equipment used for these confidential communications, Mr. Graydon? What of it? The transmissions are always made behind closed doors so they can't be heard. In any case, all messages are sent in ciphered. Normal employees couldn't possibly understand them. Oh no, stop! Must say something, stop! Mr. Graydon regularly attends meetings with ministry technicians and the ministry communications team. He assists with them in ensuring there are no errors in important international communications. And he's received the top prize at the Cipher Cracking Convention 5 years in a row now. Fascinating. Graydon is highly skilled operator staff, currently in presence of idle staff. Oh, your idol would appreciate it if you keep your mouth shut. She should really pick her idols more carefully. I can tell you these lawyers' accusations are completely unfounded. Besides, aren't even Morse code. They're not! To anyone with a brain, that would be blatantly apparent on listening to that music box for even a few seconds. Of course! Totally! Surely it can't be that my learned friend isn't familiar with Morse code. But I only know one word. And I don't even know the letters of that one word. Seems genuinely shocked at my ignorance.
I would be more than happy to demonstrate the basics for you, sir.
A lesson? Here in court? Now?
Morse code is a continuous series of two distinct tones.
Tones, you say?
Yes, a short dot and a long dash. By comparing and combining those in different ways, you construct letters.
See.
For example, this A and this B But when you listen to the sound produced by this music box, you only hear one tone, don't you?
But it sounds so similar. The rhythm of it is the same in everything.
There's no discernible meaning to this apparently random sequence of sounds. So your assertion is fundamentally flawed. This is not Morse code.
No! Really? You shouldn't be so surprised. What did I tell you? That music box is nothing but a worthless piece of scrap. Perhaps you might consider studying your subject matter before casting aspersions in the future. Oh, stop. Nothing to say but stop. So frustrating, isn't it?
There is.
I mean, if the government secrets were somehow being leaked using the music box, so many other things would fall into place so nicely.
Could there still be something I haven't considered? Would it really be impossible to use this music box somehow to play back Morse code? Well, if it's not, as you claim, the defense will concede that the music box is irrelevant for the time being.
For the time being? Such optimism. Too debonair to admit defeat, are we?
Gesticulations are really starting to grate.
It can't be Morse code unless it has two distinct tones.
Perhaps I should examine the music box in a little more detail. We need to get them on something. No relation to them. So 2 months ago in that omnibus, McGilder killed the brickmaker and stole the disc. Mr. Mason was a single man with almost nothing to his name. It seems he lived in an artisan quarter some years ago, but people there remember little about him.
That doesn't make much sense though, does it? How would a humble brickmaker come to acquire secret government information? How indeed?
There must have been somebody else involved behind the scenes in all of this. Somebody who acquired the disc and gave it to Mr. Mason in order to take it to the meeting with McGilder and negotiate a deal.
Dear me. Dear me. You may have it in for me, sir, but I assure you, I have far more class than that.
An old brickmaker from an artisan quarter and this well-to-do communications officer. If only I could find some evidence to link the two of them together. If you have nothing more to add on that note, let us return to the witness testimony.
Look, all we done is break into the gaff the other night, what you told us to do.
Admitting it, are we? Maybe not to the murder, but some other crime. Like Mr. Graydon told you to do, you mean?
That's it, yeah. Who else, sir? Silly me thought he was just popping over for a nap after all them years, but the Royal had a dodgy job for us.
Yash! Let me stop you there, Mr. Skulkin. After all them years, you say? Do you mean to tell me that Mr. Graydon is an acquaintance of yours? The sociable kind of baddies, you know? Sure, let's say Graydon's an old shiner.
Excuse me.
Does your brother have something to elaborate on that? Something wrong, Mr. Skulkin? No, the other Mr. Skulkin.
Hey, me! brother was testifying just now. He said something that seemed to cause you to react.
Oh, I was just remembering the old days, that's all. We used to have a right old life together way back when.
Together? With Mr. Graydon, you mean?
Yeah, with Ash. I mean, you look at him now in his fancy whistle and flute, and you wouldn't have him in either. But when we was younger, he was from the poor part of town, just like us.
Is that so?
Well, he was always a leery one. He had the brains. He had the savvy. Always kind of with smart ideas like what would never have gone through our heads.
God blimey, ain't that the truth? Remember Milverton and Skulkin's milk run? It was a corker, eh? Save it until after the trial. Your reminiscing has no place in this courtroom. And neither does your fruit.
Why, the geezer asked us a question, didn't he? And we was answering. Yeah, we ain't done nothing wrong.
Geezer? I'm only 23. Nevertheless, the court is not prepared to accompany you on your trip down memory lane. Maybe the court isn't, but I am. Counsel, can we turn our attention back to the testimony, please? I don't know. Could that sentimental story be relevant somehow? I say add it to the testimony. My lord? Yes, counsel. The brother's last sentimental statement could hold vital information relating to this case. Very well, counsel. I will permit the brothers to supplement the testimony with the detail. Briefly, I hasten to add. Briefly.
Say no more! Skulkin's never skulking.
Milverton and Skulkin's milk run. God, them were the days. Milverton. Milverton. What's going on there? Oh, okay, I guess that's not contradicting. I don't know, I thought it was a bit striking. I'm sorry, counsel, but I failed to see the honestly, gang. Sure, your lord, my lord. Okay, but no relationship. Wait, how do we link it back to no relation? Maybe they'll give us an opportunity. I can't remember. I'm sure I'm going to regret asking, but what exactly was that? Some kind of business? Just a little scheme we had going on when we was youngsters. Bit of fun, really.
Delivering fresh milk to locals, that's what it was all about.
That sounds alarmingly legitimate. Must be a catch. Suppose since we're here, I should ask them to elaborate. But on what? Yeah, where'd Milverton come from? So this business was just a bit of fun, you say? It was just yourselves and Mr. Graydon involved? Yeah, that's it. Milverton and Skulkin's milk run, was it?
Yeah, that's it.
Where did the Milverton part come from? Oh, right, I thought a clever clogs like you would have worked out. Well, now that's... Enough of this! How much longer are we expected to live into this drivel? Let me guess. You don't accept anything these two witnesses are saying? Tell me, why is it that it was only at the mention of the name Milverton that you decided to interject?
Because well...
You weren't the happiest of homes that one came from.
Yeah. His old man was struggling for money so much, his wife walked out on him.
She took the name Graydon then, see?
But Ash will always be Milverton to us.
Milverton? So that used to be your surname, did it? Of course not! This is all bunkum! I've been a Graydon since I was born! Do you really think you can rely on the testimony of these two thieves, hmm? Well, they're pretty poor liars. You're a communications officer attached to the civil service. As such, your personal details would have been thoroughly checked at the time of your appointment. It would be a very simple matter indeed to subpoena those records, Mr. Graydon. Ah! Well, it would appear that Mr. and Mr. Skulkin's testimony has been reliable. For once, we're born Ashley Milverton then. Is that correct? Very well, yes. So Ashley Graydon was once Ashley Milverton. That information could change things. Could turn out to be extremely important. I've never seen that before, updating a profile. All of a sudden, we seem to be up to our necks in a serious matter of national security. Although all this talk about interception of secret government messages is still conjecture at this stage.
It would explain a number of things though, wouldn't it? The negotiation Ginny overheard on the omnibus 2 months ago, and the break-in at Winterbanks. The trouble is, it wasn't Mr. Graydon in the omnibus with Mr. McGilded.
No, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker who was so horribly murdered.
If only there was some link between the two men somehow.
Mr. Graydon's testimony seems to be as watertight as ever. I wonder if the key to us making headway with the cross-examination here could be those two brothers. Do we just go for it? Oh, okay. Mr. Ashley Milverton, if I turn that off. Tell me, why did you hide your former name from the court? Because I haven't gone by that name for years. It means nothing to me. No, I don't think that's a real explanation at all. The truth is, you had a reason to hide that name. Explain yourself, please, counsel. I have here the notes from the omnibus case, my lord. And as we know, the victim, the man who we now understand to have been negotiating with McGilded. Yes, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. That's right. Only Mason wasn't his surname at all. It was his given name. His full name was Mason Milverton. I don't know how Sir Sultan got that information, but... Milverton! Do you mean Saints alive? Mr. Ashley Milverton. Is it not the case that the brickmaker, Mr. Mason Milverton, was your father? I don't... As I believe I mentioned earlier, your family history will have been thoroughly checked when you joined the civil service. And it really would take no time at all for the court to subpoena those records. The truth is, you have been illegally acquiring highly confidential government information and selling it onto McGilded in collaboration with your father. This is slander! I carved a new life for myself as a respectable communications officer, as a gentleman. I have no idea what my father has been up to, but it has nothing to do with me! May I remind the court that the assertion that this disc contains some sort of message in Morse code has been reliably disproven by a professional and independent communications officer, no less. The relationship between the victim of the omnibus case and this witness is undoubtedly significant. However, the defense's argument remains somewhat incomplete, I feel. No! I believe the cross-examination should continue. Alright, so Morse code uses 2 tones. If I could just demonstrate the possibility that this could be used to generate 2 distinct tones. Perhaps we should have a really good look over the music box, Bruno. You will reiterate your testimony if you please, Mr. Graydon. I must. I maintain exactly what I did at the start of this pointless cross-examination. Okay, sure they're not. Oh, let me double check everything. Not even Morse code. Sure, not as it is now. Then we open this end, right? We open it. If we can speak what's this text. Yeah, there's another one. Something about playing them back to back. Maybe we need 2 discs to get the full effect of Morse code, perhaps. Although, I didn't present it earlier because, like, we don't have, like, the second disc and I thought they'd ask for it, but, we'll just jump right in. Or not! Ah, that reveals a damning inconsistency in the last statement! I'm gonna die at this rate. Damning, you say? As I look at you, counsel, I see your trembling hand, your pallid expression. Oh, wait. I'm pretty sure you've seen this text before. Excuse me? I thought I was onto something, alright? It's not completely baseless. Okay. No kidding. Seriously, we pressed this, right? Oh, we had to press it. Sorry, I forgot. I think I made a mental note of it earlier. My bad! But how? Still every possibility that this music box was instrumental in the leaking of government secrets. That's the belief of the defense, at least.
Objection!
Does it please you in some way, my Nipponese friend, to repeat the same line of argument ad infinitum? It's already been established that to be Morse code, 2 tones are required. Dots and dashes. Yes, I'm well aware of that. Then what? Well, it would appear that the defense has a hypothesis to put forward. You're gonna be okay with the hypothesis for now on. Alright then, you better present your idea once, counsel. How do you propose that this music box, which appears to produce only a single tone, could have been used to cipher secret messages into Morse code? Alright, I'll show you my theory. If we speak through this text once more with feeling. My bad. See gift.
Got it!
Good gracious, what am I looking at here? Another movement on the underside of the music box. What? Ooh. It appears, my lord, that the two movements are linked together. In other words, you can put two discs in this music box. And the sounds of both will play back at the same time. Good heavens! As the court has heard, Morse code comprises of two tones, a short dot and a long dash. With the second disc in place, this music box could be used to generate Morse code and convey a message. Oh, we got him now. Ooh. I'm on to you, boy. The new facts and evidence unveiled by the cross-examination of this witness all come together to reveal the truth. Truth, you say? That you collaborated with your father, Mr. Mason Milverton, in illegal dealings with Magnus McGilded. By dint of this music box, you mean, counsel? Yes, stealing information and being sent in secret government communications and selling it onto McGilded. Mr. Graydon concocted this elaborate scheme of using two music box discs to encode the information as presumably a safety measure against the operation falling into the wrong hands. And a very effective one. I shouldn't have given this scheme any credence whatsoever. But the deal with McGilded went sour, and the brickmaker met his end. Yes, but before he was arrested, McGilded managed to temporarily dispose of the stolen disc at the pawnbroker. Then, having learnt of the situation, you appeared at Windibanks 2 days ago, in an attempt to recover the two articles McGilded had placed in pawn there. But that attempt failed. One of the discs was seized by the police, and the other you never found. That same night, you enlisted the help of the Skulkin brothers and broke into the pawnbrokery. This time, determined to recover the second disc. Are you suggesting that the second disc was inside the music box?
We never knew nothing about that.
The night that Mr. Windibank was killed. Why didn't they take it though? The intruder to the pawnbrokery touched one item, and one item alone, the music box. It's rather ingeniously demonstrated using the two prints from the security camera indeed. So, the question that naturally begs answering is this. Why was only that one article disturbed? The answer is obvious, because it contained the second disc, which the intruder was desperate to retrieve. Since, if it were to fall into the hands of the police, it would be proof of high treason. Well, Mr. Graydon, do you deny that all of this actually began on that fateful night 2 months ago? I refuse to accept any of this nonsense. Sir? There appears to be blood seeping through the sleeve of your jacket. What? 2 nights ago. We know that 3 shots were fired at the scene of the crime in Windibank's pawnbrokery. One took the life of the pawnbroker himself. One struck the pouch around Mr. Soames' waist. And the final bullet struck the calendar on the wall of the shop, having first pieced the arm of one of the intruders. Mr. Graydon, that wound on your arm that you seem to be trying to hide, it's a bullet wound, isn't it? Scott, you know me, old China. Time to call it quits and croak, I reckon. Don't acknowledge my presence there under any circumstances whatsoever. Those were my terms, remember? I paid you handsomely to comply. Clearly, I was a fool to think I could trust some common backslum thieves. Fine, I admit it. I was there in Windibanks that night. Paid this pair 10 guineas to accompany me. And if you've noticed, I sustained an injury in the course of my adventures. But that is all. I admit to nothing more. Stealing government secrets, negotiating with Mr. McGilded. As God is my witness, I'm sure I recall nothing of the sort. He's not going to go down with a fight. Not until I can show hard evidence, I suppose. Nevertheless, the defense has now established a crucial fact. Which is... well, we know that one bullet was fired from each of the 2 firearms we have in evidence. The bullet from the Skulkins brothers' gun hit the pouch around Mr. Sholmes' waist. And the bullet from Mr. Windibank's gun clearly must have been the one that caught Mr. Graydon on the arm. Indeed it must. I can rule out the possibility that the man shot himself. That leads us to only one conclusion. Oh, wait. Ah. Mr. Windibank was shot by a 3rd gun, which can only have been fired by the 3rd intruder. Goodness. That's right, Mr. Graydon. The only person who could have possibly shot Mr. Windibank that night is you! You little upstart! You made a grave mistake when you summoned me here. Did I? What? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, as you rightly say, I was there at the pawnbrokers. I did my best to hide the fact, naturally. I had no intention of ruining the distinguished career I'd built for myself at the communication station. Did the thought never cross your mind? Did you never consider the possibility? What do you mean? What thought? What possibility? Possibility that if I was there at the scene of the crime, I may have witnessed the crucial moment. You see, this makes me a key witness in this case. I'll have my hands firmly around the neck of your client. What? What are you suggesting? I saw it all. I saw the very moment that pickpocket girl pointed the gun at that poor defenseless pawnbroker and shot him. Let him speak. We'll find a way to disprove it. seem we are finally entering the last act of this theatrical trial. Is that fourth wall breaking, perhaps? I would hope so. Miss Graydon!
Yes?
I trust you are fully aware of the implications here. This is showing that your claim is false. You will have incriminated yourself as the killer.
Oh, I understand fully.
And I must ask you to give your formal testimony once more. You will explain to the court precisely what you saw.
Nothing would give me greater pleasure.
Well, these ruffians were jostling with the broker. We still need the entrance to the shop. Okay. When Winterbank threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see through the peephole in the door, though. The accused in a black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. I saw the blood spatter all over that wretched girl. She tossed the gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape. There's a lot to unpack here, I will admit. Good gracious! This is quite extraordinary testimony. You claim, sir, under oath, to have clearly seen the defendant pulling the trigger. But some of it doesn't line up. It wasn't my intention to testify in this way. But neither is it my intention to be found guilty of a murder I didn't commit. So you see, my hand has been forced. I tell the truth now as an act of self-preservation. The truth? Sure. Until now, the prosecution was completely unaware of these details. Yes, well, I'm sorry about that. He shot me in the arm. The pawnbroker was then shot in the back by the accused. The motive doesn't make sense here then. And as I said, she was showered in his blood. You say the blood spattered all over the accused's coat. Are you sure on that point? Oh, yes, quite sure. All over the black overcoat that pickpocket girl was wearing at the time. Really? If a coat could somehow be shown to harbour vestiges of blood, that will be conclusive evidence here. Such an investigation is entirely possible, my lord. If we're talking about the same coat, surely you'd realise that blood is dried and oh fuck, it's been cheated. Okay, never mind, yeah, but we're fucked. In that department, we need to disprove something else then. Only very recently, a German scientist has developed a technique to identify human blood. So here's to true science, not some amateurish detective's dubious foray into the world of chemistry.
There's nothing dubious about Hurley's work. His ideas are all sound.
Ideas are of no use to us here. In science, as in law, theories must be proven before they stand. In Germany, the technique has already been employed in the courtroom as basis of evidence. Scotland Yard has a small quantity of the chemical reagent used, with your lordship's permission. We could shatter all vestiges of doubt within minutes. Okay, that's identifying blood, but you're not identifying how old it is. I mean, it's still pretty... This doesn't look good, Bruno. Why not? We know, don't we? That there is blood all over the front of Ginny's coat. They tested with the chemicals. Help, you're right. I was forgetting what happened yesterday.
Don't move, Ginny. I'm going to shoot.
Oh dear. Incriminating. But that's not Mr. Winterbank's blood. That stain is from 2 months ago. It's Mr. Mason's blood from when he was stabbed by Mr. McGilden, who was wearing the coat at the time. My lord, the defense objects to the test proposed, but is that going to help us? Overruled. Lord Von Zees, make it so at once. With pleasure, my lord. While we await the results, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination. As they find that blood on the overcoat, Gina will be... But we already exposed her live from 2 months ago. Oh, but let's not make it worse, shall we? Cross-examination? Of course, my lord. If this cross-examination doesn't go well, if I don't manage to uncover some decisive or really compelling clue now, I have a very bad feeling about the outcome of this trial. Mr. Winterbank emerged from the storeroom, I believe. Ringo and Nash were scouring the counter when he suddenly appeared and flew at them. He already had the revolver in his hand. Fortunately, I wasn't too close. Never been so scared in my whole life.
Yeah, we were just regular mild-mannered burglars, that's all. We don't like violence.
Just the pair who carry a gun. What do you mean when you say you were near the entrance to the shop? I was in the doorway, running my eyes over the shelves of forfeited items. Looking for the music box, of course. The broker went for Nash in the first place. Ringo joined it, making it 2 against 1, so soon they could handle the situation. I was wrong.
I was trying to help my little brother, but the old geezer chucked me over the blooming counter. So I pulled my gun on the old fella, and I soon made him sharper.
A pair of you sitting up on the door, poor defenseless pawnbroker together. Shame on you!
Sorry, Gov.
When Winterbank threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. You mean that's the moment you were shot? Yes, though I didn't immediately realize what had happened, of course. Things crashed to the floor from the counter as the 3 men were brawling. It was at exactly that moment that it happened, so I didn't hear the gunshot. And the bullet went to strike the calendar in the wall behind you. So it would appear. When I looked at my arm, I saw it was bleeding badly, so I wrapped my handkerchief around it. Seeing as I couldn't explain what had happened to a doctor, I had no choice but to wait for it to heal. I didn't imagine it would still be bleeding 2 days later. Did Mr. Winterbank intend to shoot you, do you think?
Oh,
imagine he even noticed I was there, to be honest. Perhaps the gun went off accidentally. Anyway, it didn't quite strike home. When I pulled my gun on him, he tried to shove me out of the way. And then he scared me through that door out back. At which point, what did you do? I pursued the man, but he shot himself in the storeroom. You mean you chased after him? I don't recall the reason why, but I ran after him to the back of the shop. What about this peephole in the door you mentioned? Well, unsurprisingly, the storeroom door was a solid job, made of stout wood. There's a small opening there about head height that lets you see what's in there from the outside. I should know that, shouldn't I? I looked through it myself that night. And what about you, burgling brothers? Did you see what went on through this peephole as well? More likely, Gov. Didn't see nothing of the sort, Gav. I doubt these two buffoons were even aware of the peephole's existence. So the Skulkin brothers were there, but they didn't see the killing of Mr. Winterbank take place. Inside the storeroom, I could see the broker and that young girl standing there. The defendant? Yes, though neither of them noticed I was looking. The girl raised her gun and pointed it straight at the man. Wait, hold on, what? Oh, right. What did you see next? Yes, when the crime was discovered, the defendant was found with a gun in her hand. That was Mr. Winterbank's gun, from which only a single bullet had been fired. And as we've already established, Mr. Braden, that bullet was fired by you! No, it wasn't the broker's gun that the pickpocket girl had when I saw her. Yes, the bullet from the Winterbank's gun grazed my arm. Yes, the Skulkin's gun grounded the detective. This was another gun entirely. A third gun. The broker's gun was not the murder weapon, so clearly there had to be a third firearm involved. In other words, the accused must have had her own gun with her at the time. No other gun was found at the scene. Calm yourself, Counsel. What? You must consider the events in order. At first I saw the broker and the girl glaring at each other. Then all of a sudden, the broker turned to run. It was at that moment that the little gutter rat shot him in the back. Chilling image, I must say. Sorry, I'm just... All over her? Yes, through the peephole I saw it clearly. Of course, the stains are invisible, what with the coat being such a dark colour. And I assure you, that garment is sullied with the victim's blood. solid with blood, that's for sure.
Well, it's not Mr. Winterbank's blood, is it?
No, that's right. It's Mr. Mason Milverton's blood from when McGilda stabbed him 2 months ago.
So annoying! If only they accept Hurley's chemical analysis, we could prove that!
They won't. So unfortunately, we can't use it as evidence to support our case.
Bother!
Did I hear you correctly? She threw the gun out of the room. That's right. After the broker fell to the floor, she started walking over. Over where exactly? The direction of the storeroom door, to where I was watching. Of course, I quickly retreated, and then the girl dropped the gun through the peephole onto the floor on my side of the door. Why on earth would she do such a thing? I couldn't tell you. Perhaps she was hoping to distance herself from the murder weapon. Without thinking, I went and picked it up. I suppose I was worried about just leaving it there in case any more tragedies took place. So it was you, in fact, who took the third gun from the scene of the crime? Oh, we took it.
Yes, it was yours truly.
I left the clear up to my lackeys and left. Clear up?
Made a bit of mess around the counter, so Mr. Whistle and Flute told us to tidy up. He thinks he's our blooming mum sometimes.
I was paying you enough, by God! Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket?
You little toe rag!
You're like a bull at a gate, aren't you? What's going on here? Gentlemen! Something wrong, Sunshine? That should be my line! You do realise you were just violently shaking Mr. Skulkin? Blimey, Steve's a bit of a hooligan, ain't he? What was going on just now?
You saw me grab me whistle. Why the blazes, he said, did you mention the third gun when we got down the station?
Why didn't you?
Cause we know nothing about it. The flaming people in the door.
Sorry about that. I can be prone to losing my rag sometimes. Not hurt, are you?
God blimey, see the way he's looking at me. I'm telling you, Steve gives me the willies.
That was strange. The inspector doesn't normally get quite as worked up as that. He wouldn't normally grab someone.
No, that wasn't like Gregsy at all. He's normally all sweetness and light no matter what I say to him.
Yes, well, I think you might be a special case, Iris.
Anyway, this is definitely out of character.
My lord! Requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination! Explain yourself, officer. I have the results of the test that was ordered earlier, my lord! Ah, the blood. on the accused's overcoat. Thank you, officer. Very well. The cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel. We can't have an objection. No, my lord. Oh dear. Well, there you have it. The report, please, Inspector. Yes, sir. Traces of human blood were found on the overcoat of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. From the extent of the stains, it would appear they were the result of spattering following a gunshot wound. And a report, sir! Goodness me! See? What did I tell you? Primitive technology. The blood in that window coat. The blood on the coat is not Mr. Windibanks. What on earth makes you say that, counsel? The coat originally belonged to Magnus McGilded. Just before his coat was deposited at Windibanks, McGilded had fatally stabbed Mr. Mason Milverton. So the blood on the overcoat is the blood of the brickmaker from the omnibus case.
Objection!
Oh, the dead cannot speak. Isn't that right, my Nipponese friend? Sorry? 2 months ago in this very courtroom, did you not argue fervently for McGilded's innocence? And yet, now that the man is dead, you brand him as a murderer? Your conduct shatters any shred of respect you may have earned yourself in this country. But that was... Oh, I call it a bally disgrace! Treachery is what it is! How to determine whether blood on that coat is 2 months old or not? Even a stereoscope could not help the answer to that problem, Pothouse. It can't be done! But... We use Mr. Sholmes as... Mr. Sholmes is a detective, not a chemist! Would you put such faith in a chemical formula devised by me, for example, when I'm a communications officer? I held the broshki to starving boy, and he ran away crying. Sherlock Sholmes is barely more than a figment of the public's imagination. His name carries no weight in this courtroom. No weight at all. How could you say that? Victory is sweet indeed. This proves that my testimony is the whole truth from start to finish. How do you arrive at such a conclusion, sir? As the witness said, the accused's coat was spattered with the blood of the victim. The only way Mr. Graydon could have possibly have known that fact is if he saw it happen. In other words, his testimony is solid and the conclusion is singular. It was the accused who shot the victim in this case. That is the whole truth. My lord! Been a long battle this one, but this old warhorse has something to say now, if you please. Mr. Foreman! As of this moment, sir, the squadron has reached its final decision. Sure. Ready, men? All for one now! Sir!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
How do we get her out of this one? Well, it would appear the ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached a unanimous verdict. The defense has consistently failed to unpick this witness's testimony. Here's to any attempt you may have and make at unpicking the jurors' decisions being equally successful. There's gotta be a chance. I don't believe it. After I've come so far. After how many hours now? How is it all unraveling on me so fast? How very distressing to be held in such low esteem. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Officer, you've delivered the report now. That will be all, thank you. It occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Naruhodo, that scientific truths are determined not by science, but by none other than the human mind. I know that voice. Am I going mad? Mr. Sholmes! What is the meaning of this? Order! What business do you have here, detective? Last I heard, you were recuperating in hospital. As well as I would be, had I not been set upon an errand. What errand? Hurley, it's really you, wicked lost! Yes, good day, Iris. I appear to be rather late to rise. My apologies. Now, my lord, if you will humour me. In what manner, sir? I have something of great importance I wish to give to the young lawyer over there. I need no more than 5 minutes. Would you be so kind as to spare us the time? What say you to this, Lord von Zieks? This trial has taken many hours of the court's time. Having spent so long already. Exactly! Having spent so long already, we don't want to go wasting any more precious time! As I was saying, having spent so long already, it would seem churlish to deny the defense a mere 5 minutes. Very well then. Counsel, you have 5 minutes! My dear fellow, I apologize for my tardy arrival. Are you alright now? Alright, I'm all wrong. What? Sorry? I've only just managed to summon the strength to stand, man. I asked the judge for 5 minutes. But a fever, that might prove too much for me. Pray forgive me should I pass out. Let's make this discussion as short as possible then. Hurley, this place is full of idiots! None of them can see how wonderful your chemical and blood analysis is! Ah well, that concoction of mine was really just a bit of sport to assist me in my investigations. I never took the trouble to refine it for appraisal by the scientific community. An oversight on my part. Right. Modesty? Surely not. But enough of that. I'm here to give you this, my dear fellow. What's that? A lavender Furushiki wrapping? A leaving present from Miss Susato. From Miss Susato. If possible, matters were to be settled without me giving you this. Those were instructions when she asked me to do her this favor. I don't understand. Miss Susato foresaw today's events, I believe. She knew that the culprit would attempt to escape justice by means both devious and underhand. And that you, Mr. Naruhodo, fighting fairly as you are wont to do, would find yourself in considerable peril. After that very moment of crisis, you were to be given this small parcel. Those were the D lady's instructions. A leaving present from Susato-san. Whatever could it be? What's this? Oh! That's the machine I made! Huh? Look, I use this! It's my latest invention! What is that? I call it the cat flapper mat. I can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. What's Susie up to? Miss Susato followed the following words before she left. I'm a failure. I don't deserve to be a judicial assistant. What? Didn't she say something like that? You really are the best judicial assistant in the world! Well, that's extremely flattering. I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure. Whatever did you mean by that, Mr. Sholmes? That night, when you left Winterbanks in pursuit of thieves, Mr. Sato made use of this contraption for a certain purpose. That is your answer, dear fellow. Not at all cryptic, then. Susato Yosong used this cat flapper mat that night. But why? Your 5 minutes is over. We're out of time already? I'm grateful to you for affording that brief recess, Mr. Reaper. I need no thanks, detective. After all, the die is cast. Is it really? The jurors are unanimous in their leanings. No doubt my learned friend will consider a summation examination. But any attempt to alter the verdict now would be utterly futile. I wonder... Mr. Naruhodo! Yes? The rest is down to you, dear fellow. What is your plan? The rest is down to me? I need to be careful here. If I make a wrong move, the trial will end badly. My lord, the defense requests. Time to think. I got process. It's not good. I need time to think. What do you think you're doing, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? What of Miss Susato's gracious gesture? What the hell am I supposed to do with it? Would you let this final piece of evidence she left you go to waste? It's one thing to have evidence, but what does it prove? A final piece of... This is not a time for inaction. This is a time to hear from a witness. It's not possible for me to bring a new witness to the stand at this point. I don't think that's what Hurley means, Runo. Have you forgotten where we are in the trial? Huh? If the defense has nothing more to add, I think we should proceed to the adjudication. Wait, my lord! The defense requests further cross-examination!
Objection!
Is that what we're going with? The jurors have spoken! Protocol dictates that you may not cross-examine a new witness now. Were we in the middle? Are we in the middle one? I can't remember. The defense is not asking for the cross-examination of a new witness. Rather, to continue with one of an existing witness. What? It would appear that a rather important detail has escaped your attention, Mr. Reaper. I think it's escaped mine too. What's going on? My lord, I am then requesting you interrupt the cross-examination. Sholmes, you! Thank you, officer. Well, the cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel? No, my lord. Okay, cool.
So nobody can say anything then. If Runo wants to resume his cross-examination on Mr. Graydon,
the court is obliged to allow it. This is absurd! I would remind those present that this is my courtroom. I concur that the defense is entirely within its rights to request the continuation of the cross-examination. However, I will not permit an unremitting protraction of these proceedings. Therefore, I have decided to afford the defense one final opportunity in concluding the cross-examination. Counsel, you must choose but one statement from the witness's testimony and but one piece of evidence to present in support of your argument against it. A single chance to present evidence? If following that the situation remains unchanged, I shall move to adjudication. Is that clear, counsels? You will not press the witness any further. My lord. Yes, my lord! A single statement and a single piece of evidence. Most generous. Okay. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo. It's high time I fell in a dead faint. I leave this in your capable hands. Mr. Jones! To stand so insouciantly before the court in a state of such high fever. Either the man has extraordinary strength of mind, or an extraordinary lack of feeling. I imagine he's feeling very little now. The detective is sleeping soundly in one of the antechambers. Strike a man when he's down, why don't you? Well then, counsel, are you fully prepared? Yes. One statement, one piece of evidence. I won't let Mr. Sholmes down. Iris? I won't waste this final chance that the subtle son has given me. This is going to decide the entire outcome of the trial. Very well then, under the terms I have outlined, you may resume the cross-examination.